little chat with him just now.
Yeah. Very busy man.
Yes. Yes. He said he was truly blessed, in fact, to be busy. I think that is the positive outlook, you know.
Absolutely. That's what we need.
Hi, Brother Joe.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I told Sister Janista and Brother Chim, you must fire up Brother Joe tonight.
I was telling Brother Robert, hopefully we don't burn down the whole place.
Fire flies by light is okay. Okay, 7:45.
Yeah.
Sister Lily, Kak Sister.
Okay, let us start now, yeah. So good evening and warm welcome to Brother Joe Huang and brothers and sisters around the globe to Wondrous Lotus Sutra discussion. Before we start, let us invite Brother Joe to lead us in paying homage to Super Jan. Let us pay our respects for this teaching and explanations to the Buddha and Master Cheng Yen by making 2 sincere bows. Please rise, arms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our good masters and Master Cheng Yen, our good Master Cheng Yen. Okay. So today we have Brother Robert, Brother Chin, and Sister Janista in this Wondrous Lotus Sutra discussion with Brother Joe. So now let us hand over to Brother Robert, who will be the facilitator for today's session. Right, over to you, Brother Robert.
Yeah, Kanan Sister Lily. Yeah, our always dependable Sister Lily, always very sharp with all the AV control, you know. Kanan so much, Sister Lily. Okay, we are here again. There was a bit of the so-called lapse in the last 1 or 2 weeks. I think now we managed to catch hold of Brother Joe. And of course, I think we've got the 2 great sharers here tonight. So just now, I was just saying that I want them to fire up all of us, you know. Okay, the first sharer, of course, is none other than Sister Janista Tan. She's a retired corporate figure. She was with DG Telco, Citibank, Hong Leong Bank, you know. So somehow I feel maybe she found that enough of the corporate pressure, you know. I think somehow she found the calling in Tzu Chi. Yeah, I think we had a little chat this afternoon. I think she is also a great cook beside a good corporate player. I think she's also a famous cook. Apparently, I think a lot of followers as well. Okay, so let us hear from Sister Janista. Over to you, Sister Janista.
Good evening, Brother Joe, sisters and brothers. It's indeed a priceless affinity to be given the stage to share my humble learning thus far. I've chosen this topic with a pure heart, understanding is not hindered, and will specifically focus on the 3 insights here, which I regard as the foundation of my Dharma learning. It is, to all of you, it is Dharma 101, right? So, and I'll use the metaphor of seeds because I gained the essence of the sutra by leaps and bounds this way. Now, the 3 insights allow me to use the seeds, and I think Master also used the seeds to illustrate. Now, the seeds are our action, speech, and thoughts. Okay, and I use apple to represent the good seeds and pumpkin to represent the bad ones. In the law of nature, a single seed grows into a big tree, and the tree will produce many fruits. Okay, so fruits are the consequences. Fruits are our lives, our surrounding, which is made up of people, events, matters, and any material objects surrounding us. Now, the wisdom that I like to share here is the seeds are small, but the fruits are big and many, many folds more. Okay, the seeds are really small, but the fruits are a lot. So therefore, the seeds are the causes, and the fruits are the consequences, the effects, right? And that is the wisdom or the principle number one. Principle number two is apple seeds will give rise to apple tree and produce apples. Apple seeds will not produce oranges. Okay, so this is the fundamental. We all know, but in applying the Dharma into our daily life, we sometimes forget. Okay, then come to the first insight into previous lives. With that fundamental principle set, we can now understand everything about the previous lives of ourselves and the others. Now, if you see this seeds, this diagram, which I put it is actually a continuum. It doesn't represent a lifetime. It is something that's continuum. That's why it's a period, okay? The period. And where you see I mark here, born here. So this is where we are. We are born into this lifetime. And is our present, is now as we speak. So whether I regard myself having a good or bad life now must have come from my past seeds. Okay, so what I'm having now, which is the fruit, right, of the seeds that I planted before. So therefore, it must have, I planted it. So this is where we are. By the same token, you know, Donald Trump, he is such a much talked about, you know, figure. So people understand when I use Donald Trump in my illustration. So let's say Donald Trump, he's born rich. He leads a privileged life, right? But many people dislike him, criticize him, okay? They probably don't think that he deserves to be the president of the USA. He also didn't think that he could be the president, right? Now, but with these insights, yeah, of where we are here, and it's because of the seeds that we planted in the past, can be past lifetime, we would now know that Donald Trump must have planted many great seeds in the past lifetimes, or even this lifetime thus far. So with these insights or wisdom, yeah, we should rejoice him. Yeah, rejoice is good seeds. So we should not doubt him. We should not, you know, whatever that's negative. Again, seeds, yeah, this is the seeds wisdom. So with that, the second insights into the heavenly eye, which is looking into the future, we would know, or we are in control about the future life that we want. Okay, we know how to plant seeds now, assuming. So we will know what to plant for our future lives. And when we look at people around us, we probably will know what kind of future lives that they will face. So again, back to the seeds principles. So there are some more seeds principles that we should be mindful of. The first one, the seeds never expire. It transcends lifetimes. Why? Why do I say so? Or how is that proven? The fact that we are born into this life must have come from the seeds from our lifetime, right? So there are some born into humans, some born into animals, you know. So therefore, we know seeds never expire and it transcends lifetimes. Okay, that's number one. So, I mean, not number one, like seeds wisdom. More wisdom, time gap. Okay, just like from a seed to grow into a tree, to grow to bear fruits, there is a time gap. So we have planted multiple seeds every split second. The seeds come from the thoughts as well, even a thoughts of doubt of someone or a split second of anger. That also regards as planting seeds, yeah, bad seeds, wrong seeds. Yeah. So therefore, that time, there is a time gap. So whilst, you know, we may have thought that we planted a lot of good seeds, I've done so many good things, you know, but why am I still facing some, you know, bad consequences? Because of this time gap. And it's like a first in, first out system. So whatever was planted before, bad or good seeds, it will ripen. It will ripen first. It will ripen. And then as long as we never waver, as long as we are mindful to do good, to plant good seeds, you know, that good fruits will come, will eventually come. So don't despair if we feel that we have done so much good, but, you know, we keep having challenges in life. And when you look around, you see someone, wow, I've never seen the person to be, you know, doing good, but, you know, wow, that person seemed to be having, you know, all the good consequences. Yeah. So don't despair because of the time gap, and the good effects will definitely come. Okay. Then, hold on, sorry, I can't really see my slide. Just hold on. Oh, the other thing is that my fruits can only come from my seeds. Nobody can plant the seeds for you, yeah? The seeds must be from you, okay? That is very important for us to understand. The life that we are living now comes from who, yeah? Come from ourselves. Okay, just hold on, it's a bit stuck here. Okay, now the third insight into ending all leaks, meaning that with the wisdom of the sages, then we can eliminate afflictions. Then our master, just hang on. Our master has many times, over and over again, reminds us that ignorance breeds afflictions, right? And only wisdom, by having the wisdom, can we eliminate afflictions. Okay, now what is wisdom? To many, wisdom is knowledge, especially knowledge, yeah? Knowledge is academic, right? The knowledge needs to be proven by action. So we need to have the full execution of what we learned. So this is part of the wisdom, right? Or rather part of the intelligence, okay? And I don't think it's wisdom, right? Now, to me, the wisdom is you need to have that inner cultivation. That is samadhi, right? So to me, is that you need to have these three together, especially the samadhi part, in order to complete the entire wisdom equation. So many people that we come across, they are smart people, okay, but they are not necessarily wise. Okay, smart people, it could be they work all the time. They have the intelligence to work and, you know, make a lot of money, but they may not be happy. Okay, they may not be enjoying what they're doing, right? So if they have found that inner desire, right, and to achieve that bliss state, so it does warrant the samadhi, the inner cultivation. I think someone like Jack Ma, that is able to build the empire, and he is able to step back, step out, right? Obviously, he is smart and he is wise. Yeah, that is my take. Okay. Now, let me further explain about ending these leaks. Yeah, the third insight is our actions, which is our seeds, yeah, which is our action, our speeches, and our thoughts, will manifest in our surrounding in the form of the people, the events, the matter, the material objects that really unfold around us. And that, to me, is the barometer for me to to take stock whether I'm traversing on the right path of this Dharma learning. To me, that is very important, because people or whatever I'm facing right now will tell me whether I'm doing it correct or wrong, and here's how. And I echo Brother Joe's sermon on this mirror analogy. Just visualize the person in front of me. Let's say I'm facing, this is me, and I'm facing someone, right? So just visualize that this someone is actually holding a mirror. So actually, what I'm seeing, this person is seeing myself. Who I see is me. All right, this person. Whether this person that I see happens that I regard like a bodhisattva, or I regard this person as someone totally annoys me, it is talking about me. When I see this someone as annoying, I must be so mindful that I'm annoying. I am annoying. And the second thought, okay, is how I feel about this person, i.e. annoying. It is actually how others around me feel about me. So I will know that, hey, I am annoying. So therefore, I will mindfully change, right? And then the more I see the people around me are the happy people, are the most compassionate people, are the most friendly people, I know I am on the right path of this Dharma journey, right? Because the surrounding tells me so. Okay, and with that, it is changing myself and not others. Yeah, others are surrounding. Again, it's not me. Again, mirror says it's me. Only I can change who I want to see and everything. So I change myself, not others, even if they are my children, right? And changing myself is easier, or changing others? Obviously changing myself, right? If you can't change yourself, don't bother to change others. And in this Dharma wisdom, don't even bother to change others, change yourself. Because when you change yourself, your surrounding will gravitate into you, like you, right? So this is that inner cultivation that we need to, and then it will somehow reflect, yeah, into that surrounding. So that to me is the best barometer. So once you know whatever you're seeing is nothing but yourself, seriously, I don't feel, I shouldn't feel mad about it, right? It's about yourself. And let's say, if someone is annoying, right, standing in front of you, and you get mad, right? It's actually you get mad of yourself. You shouldn't avoid that person, okay? Because the question to ask is not about why is this person making me so mad, or your children, right? My children. Why are they making me so mad? The question that I should be asking is that, what have I done? Who have I angered so much in the past? What anger seed have I planted before that is showing, that is manifesting in me getting mad, right? It comes from the past seed, okay? My seed, okay? So what mad seeds have I planted before? Okay, so that is the question we should be asking ourselves, and not to avoid that particular person that you thought that he is the one that annoys you. You can't, because if you just avoid that person and you don't change yourself, wherever you go, whatever you see, even by the object, even by the matters, it will continue to annoy you if you have not changed yourself. Okay, so therefore that is my understanding. So with that, I must say, with this sort of wisdom that I picked up, I must say that I'm a much happier person now, not just because I left the corporate world, but because that wisdom that I'm able to decipher and I know what seeds to plant, and I know it comes from me. So, I'm a much better person. And here is my testimony. Okay, wait, here's my testimony. Okay, first, I look at where I am at current moment, and that is my fruits, right? And with that kind of fruits, that I need to have some counterbalancing actions. And that action is to plant seeds, new seeds. Okay. Now, so like the situation that I'm facing now is that joining Tzu Chi after I so-called retired from the corporate world. So I kind of immersed myself more into Tzu Chi, and I start having resistance from my home brother and even my good friends. In their words, overcommitted myself in Tzu Chi, right? So I get this resistance. Now, so mindfully, I should not tell them, no, you're wrong. I'm not actually, I'm so small, right? Compare my involvement with sisters like Sister Siu Ching, Sister Effie, everyone that I see totally immerse themselves in Tzu Chi. So I am, honestly, is nowhere to stand next to them. But I can't say he's wrong, right? Because the resistance came from me. I resisted and I rejected many things before. So the counteract is to plant acceptance seeds. Okay, acceptance seeds motivate others, praise more, because this is what I want my home brother, my friends to support me in my journey and my involvement in Tzu Chi. Okay, so the new seeds that I'm planting is say yes. I need to plant acceptance seeds. So I say yes most of the time. Okay, like if Tzu Chi asks me to present in a forum to speak, I know I'm so amateurish, okay, but I will still say yes. Then, of course, we need to put in a lot of homework, but I will still say yes, because I can't tell them they're wrong to pick me, right? So I'll say yes, okay? So I want to say, I want to accept. So like, if somebody says that, oh, you're so good, like Brother Robert, oh, Sister Janister is so good in cooking, I'm not going to tell Brother Robert, no, I'm not, you're wrong. That is what? That's bad seeds, yeah? All right? That is resistant. That is, you're telling him he's wrong. I don't do that. I will say, oh, thank you. And I must tell him, you are so kind with your words, because that is planting good seeds. Totally free to plant good seeds with kind words, okay? So, Brother Robert, you are so kind with your words and your praises, okay? So I learned that, okay? So, and then I involved in Tzu Chi because my home brother, since the COVID 2 years ago, my home brother doesn't really allow me to physically involve in the Tzu Chi on-ground events. So I choose to be more support role, doing admins, doing Google Forms, doing whatever that I can without going out. So, so I have to accept his preference of my involvement. And so I must give my best, my all in the support role. So, and I share whatever I know, I share, I present, never ashamed, never feel small, too small to share, okay? That is my number one. Number two, challenges. My number two challenge is my son, who is 13 years old. Academically, quite poor results, yeah? In the past, I would have sent him to many tuition classes. That is typical parents, what they'll do. But now, I still do, but not as many tuition classes, but using the seeds wisdom. Okay, again, he is bad in learning. That means I'm bad in learning too, right? The mirror. So I learned to plant learning seeds, learn new skills. Okay, like our Lotus Sutra study group, I try not to miss it. I learn. Okay, I set up within my family, my children, my nephews and nieces. I set up a family learning group, and I teach them gratitude, things that are free and can easily be achieved. So, so gratitude, how to do gratitude and what are the actions of gratitude, giving out selflessly. I teach them, give what you want. If you want happiness, make others happy. That is as simple as that, and it's you don't need to pay lah, huh? No need money, okay? So give what you want. So I teach them that. I teach them rejoice. Rejoice. If you see your classmates achieving great results, don't be envious, okay? What you need to do is rejoice. Rejoice, okay? So, be happy at others' successes. So I teach them these skills. Now, teaching is very important. Sharing your wisdom, sharing what you know, make others understand, it is very powerful. So this is giving, right? And I also must focus. So partly he is not focused, right? With the computer games. So I make sure I'm focused whenever I attend Zoom seminars and whatever forums, driving, I make sure I focus. So whatever you want him, our children to achieve, we do it ourselves, yeah? Okay, and the third one, our country's leadership is really in a shambles, okay? That I do see our country's leadership really heading nowhere. It's a laughing stock in the world stage. Honestly, it does drive me crazy. Yeah? It does drive me crazy. Yeah. So therefore, I need to get rid of this, right? So I have to ensure I eliminate sufferings, okay, and strengthen leadership. Okay. So with that, I see the vegetarianism as the way to eliminate suffering. So I liken it this way. So I adopted the vegetarianism 3.5 years ago. Since I left the corporate world, I adopted it. And I must say, because of my determined, persistent knowledge of this, that I never waver. Okay, even though I could be traveling overseas, yeah, I still practice, I still uphold the vegetarianism. So I adopt, I promote, I advocate. So I participate in the Bento of Love projects in our communities, in 21 Days Healthier Me Challenge. So I fully immerse myself in all this. And of course, I also try vegetarian cooking to share and to give away the vegetarian food, just to share with people how tasty and the vegetarian food can be. So this is what I'm planting, and I do see little successes in what I practiced thus far. That is why I kind of hold through to these seeds, wisdom, to this Dharma, the sutras. So I really hold true to that because I am seeing that successes in me, in my surrounding, yeah, the surrounding as a barometer on my journey. So with that, I end my sharing this evening, and I have 2 questions for Brother Joe. Actually, Brother Joe is my idol Dharma master, and I'm really honored to be able to be on the same forum as you and to share my presentation to you. Okay, my questions are, Brother Joe. The first one is my comprehension of the sutras to achieve my desired outcome conform with Master's sermons of giving selflessly and ask for nothing in return? Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, the law of the karma. Non-Buddhists think that we Buddhists do good for our selfish purposes. What's your thoughts and guidance in setting the karma in the positive lights? Thank you, Brother Joe, and thank you, sisters and brothers, for your attention.
Kangen so much, Sister Janissa, for your very profound sharing. Yeah, now let us hear from Brother Joe.
Wow, wonderful. Sister Janista, this is wonderful sharing. I learned something. Essentially, what you mentioned is putting what Master and what the Buddhist teaching had been teaching us, and you putting them into perfect action. By that, I mean knowing the laws of karma and knowing the laws of the causation, and you're able to use that to work for you so that you can transform, you can help, you can direct and lead your life toward where you think it should go. And I think in many ways, that's already light years ahead of where many people, including myself, we're still trying to struggle, and we're struggling with our afflictions. And that is all very true. But you figured out that the way to do this is to plant the seeds for plant the seeds of the actions of the future that you would like to have. And that is very true. If you want to have a particular kind of tree, if you want to have a particular kind of future, then you plant the seeds now. And I think that if it's okay, that we can go back to the questions that you have, so that I could try to address that. To me, I don't think that that goes against what Master had taught us in terms of asking for nothing in return. Because if what your definition of asking for nothing in return, then putting that asking for nothing in return into your analogy, what would that mean? It would mean that I'm planting seeds, but I will never get fruit. That goes against the law of karma. If you plant seeds, you're going to get fruits, right? So that is going to be the key here, okay? So no, it does not go against what Master taught us. However, it all deals with your intention, right? If you plant the seeds of apple and your intention are to, make a lot of money, because right now apples are very expensive and apples are lacking, so you're making apples, and as soon as apples market crash, then you begin to plant the seeds for something that's the next fruit or the next crop that is most suitable. Then the outcome, right? What you're planting is an apple. You're planting the seeds of greed. That's what you're planting. However, if you're planting something that is necessary, right, that is needed for the people, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't, you shouldn't be a farmer. And if you're a farmer and you're planting, crops, and that means you're greedy. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is your intention, right? Your intention is, what can I do? That I'm a farmer, I'm gonna plant these things, and my job is to grow the food for the people. That is, if it happens to sell for good money, good. But that isn't my intention. My intention is, I'm a farmer, I'm gonna do the best I can to grow, to not waste the natural resources, and to love everything that nature has given us. So I don't think that goes against, asking for nothing in return, meaning it just means that what we get is the apple tree, is the apple, but what I planted wasn't the wealth that goes beyond that. So I think it's very delicate, but I think it's very true that you are planting the good seeds. How can you not get the good apples in return? It's going to come to you, but you didn't ask for that. What you ask for is for a wise. What you ask for is a wisdom, life of wisdom. You want to reduce affliction. You want to bring happiness to others. You want to be compassionate and help others. That's what we want. Now, if that good action leads to the good feedback of the people, that's going to be the good fruits that you get back. How can you say, I don't want it? It's going to be there, right? If you plant something, it's going to be there, okay? So the law
connection seems to have some problem. Yeah, Brother Joe is freeze already. I think Sister Janista, you really fired up our platform.
Oh, really, thank you so much, Brother Robert.
The
Okay.
wires got burned.
Okay, Brother Jim.
All right.
Brother Joe.
Okay. So for the second question, I think that and this is all just my feedback. I think that look at Master Cheng Yen. Master Cheng Yen also taught us that we are living in the same world, so it's not enough that I do conserve the energy or conserve the food or conserve all these things, right? We have to do it all together, because if we don't do it all together, I'm not going to have an earth to live on either. So we had to make it happen together. Now, is this for our selfish purposes? No, it's not. It's for the greater good. So remember, in Chinese, there is a 大我, the greater self. So the very, very small difference is that I see, or Master sees everyone as herself. So she loves all the same. She loves all sentient beings the same. And so that's the idea of the greater self. If we can achieve the love for the greater self, I think that's very important. And that's what we're trying to do, right? We're not blaming the people that are started the war, but we don't want the war to happen. So what we can do is look at the greater self. It's like my right hand, it's hitting my left hand. So I am hurting, whether it's the right hand or the left hand. Let's not blame the right hand, because that's still me. Let's not only pray for the left hand, because that's part of me, and this is me too. That's the greater self. When you're looking at the greater self, then there is less of a conflict. But the problem is, to the perspective of the right hand, then there is a particular goal for the right hand to achieve, and that is to strike your left arm. And that's the hard part, right? So I think that part of the thing is, that's why Master going through, and Buddha going through suffering. Suffering is something that is the best and the easiest way for people to see beyond yourself, beyond your selfless purposes, beyond your selfish needs, without seeing the suffering in others. It's so hard for us to inspire that compassion. So that's why we start with suffering. That's why Buddha started with suffering. When you begin to see suffering, our innate compassion arises. And when that arises, then it will overcome all the selfishness that we have. And when you overcome that selfishness, then you will be able to achieve the greater self, that you see beyond what you need, what your self needs. Okay, so both of these questions are very good questions that also make me think further. And I'm very, very grateful. And I just have one question for you too, Jensen. You asked me two questions. I have to ask you one question. So how is it that you already retired? I mean, isn't it kind of unfair that being young and also being so smart that you can retire early and then dedicate more of your time to do Tzu Chi? I think that's almost unfair. Okay, but maybe that's the seeds you plant. You planted the seeds to retire early and have a very supportive family. That's the seeds you plant. So please tell us the type of seeds you plant, because I think we all want to have that kind of fruits. Retire early, dedicate our lives to service others, to service the society. I think we all want that, and have very supportive family to help you, and to have all these good affinity with people. Okay, thank you, Janista. This is very good sharing. Thank you.
Yeah, Kanan, so much, Brother Joe, for the wonderful feedbacks. Yeah. Okay. Now, the next sharer I am very excited to introduce is none other than our Brother Chim. He plays very important role in our English group committee, taking charge of our monthly gathering, or we call fellowship. During our non-pandemic days, he's very active in our various activities like Batu Arang, HIV Home, Jingsi Hall cleaning, PCBC, English group outings, and etc. So without further ado, please join us to invite our very knowledgeable and wise Brother Chim.
Thank you, Brother Robert. And greetings to everybody. Brother Joe, brothers and sisters. I was totally mesmerized by Sister Janister's sharing. I also forgot what to say already. Everybody, okay, let me just do a time check first. Okay. Everybody can see my first slide, eliminating delusion and false thoughts?
No.
Cannot see?
No. You have to... No, can't see yet. You share.
Share screen.
Yes, coming up. Okay, now okay, Rick. Right, go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Everything clear? My voice is clear? Okay.
Yes, good.
Now, when I look at the subject of this topic, eliminating delusions and false thoughts, it kind of like strike me that this is actually the core of Buddha's teachings. Eliminating delusion and false thoughts. Another way of looking at it is like, what is really the truth? And then when I went in to look at my favorite book, I know Brother Robert knows, Essence of Infinite Meanings. I look at the preface itself. There was a quote by Master. That says, all things are empty and still in nature and appearance. Understanding this, we can penetrate all truths of the universe. It is a very profound statement in the book, and I will try to attempt using whatever knowledge that I have of the Dharma and all that. And if I make any mistakes and all that, Brother Joe, Brother Robert, you can beat me up, okay? Okay, when we talk about delusions, we talk about false thoughts. The question on our mind is, how do we tell the difference? How do we know that it's delusion? Because to a lot of people, sometimes depending on their belief systems and all that, a delusion can be the truth. And therein lies that dilemma that humanity today has. How to tell the difference between delusion and reality. You always bear in mind that Buddha is talking about finding the truth. Okay, just to give you some examples of some of the disasters and calamities that have been caused by this apprehension of the mind. Things like investment bubbles, like the Dutch Duluth Manual in the 17th century, where people has to pay equivalent of $50,000 to $100,000 for just a tulip bulb. Can you imagine that? That people can be so deluded up to that extent. And you look at happenings like during the 16th century, where in Europe, if a woman were found to be intelligent, or if a woman were found to be learned or able to understand, know how to read and all that, she will be burned at the stake.
Brother Jim, sorry,
yes.
the PPT isn't moving. The PowerPoint is still on the first page.
Still on the first page,
Right.
Oh boy. Let me see.
Thank you.
Move the arrow. Move the arrow, can. Move the arrow down arrow. Or use your mouse.
I'm using my mouse. Hold on.
Or just click on the second.
Can see it?
Okay. Yep. Okay. Now okay.
Mass delusion, public madness.
It's good.
Yeah. Oh, you mean I was talking and then you're looking? Sorry. Okay, we look at all these, mass delusions examples like witch manual, religious persecution over the centuries. You hear of the election was stolen, in the recent elections way over the other side of the world. All this has caused a lot of disharmony, anger, the hatred, feelings of hatred, and so on. Yeah. Okay, can you see the next slide now? Negative mental reactions.
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, these are just some of the familiar ailments of mental reactions there to all these happenings that is happening around us. You get people who are down with anxiety, depression, stress. These are very normal. You find this even in children today because of the pace, of life, because of the competitiveness, and so on. And these are the examples of symptoms that I'm not going to run through. Okay. Next slide. While the West has progressed a long way in the natural sciences like medicine, physics, astrology, and so on, they have had only a century of history in the study of the mind. And that is where the religions in the East, and especially from the Indian subcontinent, where the study of the mind, where a lot of where the aesthetics, the monastics and all that go in to actually try to study, that was first documented. If you were to look at the statues and sculptures in Indian art, 3000 to 5000 BCE, before Christ. That's like 7,000 years ago. It was already documented in Indian arts. And then there was a chapter in the Bhagavad Gita in the Vedas, 1500 BCE. And then last but not least, in Buddha's teachings, in a lot of Buddha's teachings, a lot of his teachings surrounds the teachings around the mind. Okay, for example, the Satipatthana Sutta, which is the foundation of mindfulness. We will go onto that. Okay. Now, I would like to make use of these 5 skandhas, the 5 aggregates, to illustrate the workings of the mind. How craving, cleaning occurs, and ultimately dukkha. You can see, everybody can see the 5 aggregates?
Yes, we can.
Okay. When we look at these, the 5 aggregates, you have the form. Then you see the circle here, consciousness, perception, sensations, and formations. These are mental consciousness. Okay, whereas the form on the right-hand side is actually physical. So aggregate, 5 aggregate, 1 is a physical, 4 is a consciousness, level of consciousness. Now, when you look at consciousness, when you see form, you actually look at things like ourself, and you see physical objects. Okay, and when you go on to consciousness, we have our 6 senses. The 6 senses are things like nose, mouth, tongue, our skin, body, mind, and so on. The 6 senses will kind of receive this, and then it goes into our mind conscious. Okay, our mind consciousness. If it is smell, it's our nose conscious, it's a sense consciousness. And then it go on to the next mental consciousness called perception. Okay, then we will kind of like perceive, oh, this smell is a smell of a durian, or smell of smoke, or smell of fire, or smell of a fragrance, and so on. And then it goes on to the next conscious level. It goes on to the next conscious level, which is called sensations, Vedana. Okay, now take note that this particular level of consciousness, sensation, is important. Okay, because as a Vipassana practitioner, it is something that we always take note of, when we meditate. Now, the thing here is when we have this sense of the sensation, we have this sensation coming into in our mind. What it causes is it causes us to react, and then when we react, and then we get these feelings of things like anger, things of hatred, liking, and as a result, it will result in craving, and then it result in clinging. Okay, and then you have all this dukkha, and so on. Then you have sufferings. Okay, the four noble truths. Now, at the bottom here, you see formation, sankhara. Sankhara is actually the conditioned formation. Now, what happened is that all these senses that goes through our mind consciousness, it will go in and form and create a picture in our mind. Okay, and then when you see below there, store consciousness. What is this store consciousness? Just now, when Sister Janista was talking about seeds, planting seeds into our mind, and so on. That is the level of consciousness within our mind that actually stores all these past experiences that we have had in the past. Experiences of things like meeting somebody, or somebody's maybe, like when we think back, our mother caning us, or our friend or somebody threw a stone at us, and so on. And then it kind of like form, and it goes into our store consciousness. This is actually the deepest part of our consciousness within our mind. Yeah. And this is the part of the consciousness that actually affects our behavior. When we meet people, when we see things, when we see a person, when we see, like for example, we see a person whom we have not met for 30 years. I always use these examples to our brothers and sisters. You meet somebody from our school days. Okay, this guy actually maybe stole your food, during canteen time, and then as a result, you hated him. This guy stole my nasi lemak, and all that. As a result, I went hungry. So that kind of like went into our store consciousness. And then 30 years later, when we meet him, we see him in the distance, he come towards me, and I'll say, this guy is a thief, he's a crook. He has in the past stole my food and caused me to be hungry and all that. And my natural reaction towards him is that this guy is a crook. He is bad, However, this person may have, during the 30 years, has changed into a very good person. Okay, and therein lies this thing about our reaction to seeing certain objects and all that and our reaction towards it is actually not a reaction to what is actually real. It is a reaction to what is in our consciousness. Okay, there is a subtle difference. What is real, and what is just within our consciousness. We thought this is just what we thought, and what is deep inside our deep consciousness. Now, as a demonstration of how we actually react, I will just give you a demonstration using this slide. The cat reaction to cucumbers. Okay. Okay, don't do that to your cat, okay? Now, this is just an example. This is just an example that we react. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Somebody must have been reacting to that video. Anyway, it just go on to show that we are actually not reacting to that object, We are reacting to what has been conditioned in our consciousness. Yeah. So that is important. Bear that in mind. It is our consciousness that is actually playing tricks, and it is causing us to act the way we act. Okay. Now, understanding how the mind works is one thing, but how do we go about purifying and control our mind in the right way. In Buddha's teachings there, I am sure there are many suttas and many sutras, that actually provide details as to how you can purify your mind and all that. But the one that come to my mind is this called establishment of mindfulness. In Pali, it's called Satipatthana Sutta. Yeah, it's the act of remembering the essence of reality at the present moment. Yeah, observing things as they are without any judgment. Okay, you go on about these 4 frames of references, and all that. This one will be can be a subject of another discussion. Okay, but what is really important here is that when we look at this particular sutta, the Satipatthana Sutta, now what actually does it mean? And the meaning of mindfulness. Because in my mind, sometimes I always think, Master always, if you notice, in her videos, she will always end, be mindful, always be mindful, and all that. She always ends with that quote. Yeah. And this particular sutta also talk about establishment of mindfulness and all that. And when we look at the definition of mindfulness, it actually doesn't give us that true meaning that Buddha actually wants it to be. Because when you look at the original Pali meaning, the Pali word sati actually means attention, or it can also mean awareness. Okay, and then upa, sati upa, upatana. Upa means inward attention. Tana means place. Yeah, sati patana means you place an inward attention inwards rather than outwards, rather than apa is upa. Okay, so what it actually means is putting your attention inward in your mind, awareness of your mind inward at that present moment. At that present moment. So this sutta is actually talking about the way to meditate, on how you can control your mind, because as what I showed earlier in that 5 skandhas, how it works, how our mind actually reacts to sensation rather than the real object, and so on. This actually provides a way, and it also provides a foundation for a meditation called insight meditation, called Vipassana. Yeah, of course there are many types of meditation. Yeah, transcendental meditation, spiritual meditation, and so on, walking meditation and so on. This Vipassana meditation actually uses this particular sutta. And this particular sutta is actually one of the most studied sutta in Theravada Buddhism. Okay, monastics in Theravada especially, they spend a lot of time meditating. Yeah, and this is the particular sutta that forms the foundation of the way they go about it. Yeah. Now, what are the neurological benefits of practicing mindfulness? This Satipatthana Sutta. In today's world, distractibility is one of the major problems that we have. WhatsApp lah, WeChat lah, Telegram lah, our computers lah, internet lah, email, and so on. And you go for dinners with your family, you find that half the families are looking at their smartphones, and all that, instead of paying attention, to what you are saying, and so on. Loneliness, loss of purpose, depression. These are the problems that we face, And now, what the West and what psychology has actually found, neuroscience has actually found that our mind can actually change its structure.
Brother Chin, I need to cut you off already, because at 8:45 we need to join the Kelantan group, the volunteers to do the Junian. Junior for our brother, dear brother Ho.
Okay. All right.
So I'm sorry, Brother Chief. I think we have to give you another session so that you can
Yeah.
have fire up this
Okay,
so-called
sure.
this upper section.
Sure.
Yeah. So thank you, brothers and sisters, for joining us. I think now because of our dearest brother Dr. Ho, we have I think going to do this online chanting for the home sister that has passed away. So we will join. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Yeah. So
Thank
we will
you.
now move over to those another connection. Is it the sister Suji?
Yeah, there is another connection. Maybe before we end, sorry, brother.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, Brother Chin will arrange another session. Before we go over to the other side, Ka'an, brothers and sisters, Ka'an, also Ka'an to Brother Joe. Let us invite Brother Joe to lead us in Buddha and Master as we depart to apply these wonderful teachings in our everyday life. Let us pay our respects to our teachers of life, universal truth. All together, first bow, second bow, and third bow. Okay. Ka'an, brothers and sisters, we go over to the other.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
see you around, Ka'an.
Kanan so
Ka'an,
much.
take care.